Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and today I'm just getting flooded with great things about XRP to go over. And so, I mean, my Twitter inbox just stays full, but it's the good people of the XRP community have sent me so many things that I can't ignore all of it, and so had to send you another video here. The first thing, this tweet relates to other tweets. At Bond Crip sent me this morning. This is Brad Garlinghouse. It's a 33-minute video that you should all go and watch. It's Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple and Ross Leckler of the IMF at SG FinTech Festival 2018. It's about a 33-minute video is what he says. But what's interesting is I also got, and if you haven't looked at it today, go and look at C3 Nick's feed on Twitter, because he pulls out a lot of comments from this. This was the comment that I found most interesting. At C3_Nick, if you don't follow him already, he's one of my favorites in the Twitter community in terms of providing great information. But it says this is from Brad Garlinghouse in the thing here that I just mentioned, the FinTech Festival. A year from now, banks will be custodying digital assets directly. Banks are seeing that a lot of money is being made by digital asset exchanges globally, and banks are profit motivated. Now that's what Brad Garlinghouse said. I'll take that. The digital asset investor will take that a step further. Yes, it's a money issue, but they are also seeing their own. These banks are also seeing their own extinction if they do not begin to get involved in digital assets. It's not just about making money. It's also because they know that their extinction. They know that they're dinosaurs, literally, if they do not begin to move in this direction. And then C3 Nick also references one of his tweets from back in August, which is dead on. At Binance created almost as much revenue as NASDAQ in Q1 of 2018. Binance even surpassed Deutsche Bank in terms of revenue. That sets off a lot of alarms within the financial industry. In my opinion, they will all try to get a piece of the action, which will be fun to watch. And you're darn right it'll be fun to watch, because we're all going to get to watch it as XRP holders. Next, I wanted to show you an article that I saw yesterday. Well, I'm just realizing that this is from September the 10th. I did not realize that this was a rehashed article. Well, in any event, this is from September 10th, but it still illustrates the point that I've been making all along, and so I'm not going to just discard it. Bitcoin mutual fund launches in Canada. And this goes back to, since we're approaching the next deadline for the potential ETF approvals by the SEC. This is very important, and I've made this point before. Even though this is an older article, I've made this point before, and that is that the United States is not going to be left behind. They're not going to watch Canada and all these other countries around the world create mutual funds that physically invest into Bitcoin and ETFs and all the rest without getting in on the game. I believe they'll eventually try to lead the game, and I think they have been slow at first, but I think that the writing is on the wall and they know it. Okay, so moving along. All right, this is from Hoder's blog. He put a new blog out today. It's called "We Are Early to the Party," and boy, are we early to the party. But before I read you something from his article, I do one thing that he covers in this blog post is the hardware wallet support. And what he says is, earlier this year, an XRP community developer stepped forward to help some hardware wallet manufacturers successfully and more securely integrate with the XRP ledger. And it says he also pursued his own project dubbed the XRP toolkit, created a development roadmap that contained more detail. In other words, he's created this website, and it's at XRP Toolkit if you want to follow him. He's got XRPtoolkit.com, and he's created this site. This was from let's see, this is from yesterday. He put out this tweet: fan submitted video on how to use the XRP toolkit with a Ledger Nano S, and it takes you to this video. And if you want to go XRP toolkit, this is the video where they actually show you how his website is working with the Ledger Nano S, and you can actually go in there and use that website to view your information from your Ledger Nano S, and that's pretty darn cool. We have some mad scientist geniuses out there in the XRP community like WeTwin that are always doing all these things, and so I'm always fascinated by them. It's not my department, but I try to highlight all of these things when I see them. And so back to Hoder's blog, because I wanted to read you something at the end. Basically, what he started this blog off with talking about what it's like when you are early to a party. A lot of times you're the one that's helping move chairs around or do various things in preparation for the arrival of most of the guests. And he's comparing that to the way it's kind of been for us as XRP holders or XRP community members, whether you're a blogger or a YouTuber or doing this on Twitter, and it kind of rings true, and so the party has not even begun yet, and that's kind of what has been the theme of what we've been talking about. You are so early that this is going to be crazy when the party actually begins. But he says something here at the end. A lot of times I like the way he ends his blog. It says here down at the end, he says, in 2017, the gathering of crypto was like a line at an exclusive urban club, where instead of attempting to gain entry into a small venue, long lines waited for spots in crypto exchanges. This is where another major clue is available for helping to predict how this next onset of interest in crypto assets will be different. Last year at this time, there were a handful of worldwide exchanges that supported moderate increases in customer numbers. When the sudden uptick in investor demand happened, many of the largest exchanges couldn't process the application. In some cases, requests for membership were rejected with the comment that applications were no longer being accepted. In the case of XRP, 2018 is entirely different in this respect. We now have more than 4 times the number of global exchanges, and many of these new ones have sprung up in previously underserved geographic markets, extending the potential reach of growing investor demand. And while the general trend is positive for crypto assets, and it is a party where everybody in crypto is invited, there is one crypto asset that has the potential to benefit from many times its current speculative only interest in real utility-driven demand. And so he makes the point there that I've kind of been making, which is back in 2017, when XRP went to 350, when that happened, we were still it was still like so early in terms of the ways that you could get into crypto, and believe it or not, even today it's tough as compared to in 2013. Seemed like there was 3 or 4 exchanges, and then in 2017 there were several exchanges, but they weren't equipped to handle the demand. There's no telling what XRP could have gone to if there wasn't a stranglehold. And there were literally crypto exchanges that were turning off and rejecting customers. And I've told a story on here before. I have a brother in Arkansas, in Little Rock, Arkansas. He told me that he was at the time in December, he was talking to a financial advisor that was with a major firm in Little Rock at that time. And the guy told him that he and all of his financial advisor buddies were trying to buy into XRP at that time and could not get in. And the guy could not believe that my brother even knew what XRP was. So you better write it down. These people are coming. When they come this time, they'll be able to buy. I can't even imagine what could happen when that time comes. So, all right, now we're going into Christmas now. So they still are selling these white paper edition, the limited edition Ledger Nano S's for the 10th anniversary of Bitcoin. You can get one in the description of all my videos. So if you haven't done so, or you're thinking about getting a Ledger Nano S as a present, this one's a pretty cool present to get. And I showed you in a prior video down here what's in it. It's actually got a little poster that comes with it. But anyways, that'd be a pretty cool Christmas gift. I'm going to give at least one or two myself. Thank you for listening. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that the digital asset investor thinks you should get a Ledger Nano S for Christmas. Thanks for listening.